Ladies and gentlemen, the battle that we have been waiting for, the boiling pot has now really boiled over. Turning Point USA had their AmericaFest, or it started last night, and Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro on the stage back to back, and the drama unfolded. Yes, we're going to talk about it right now. Welcome back to The Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let us get going. Ben Shapiro, who we all know did not really help Charlie Kirk out in the beginning. He was actually cock blocking. He was cock blocking, trying to keep Charlie Kirk from doing his thing. Well, that same Ben Shapiro was on the stage last night praising Charlie Kirk and taking the daggers out to people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megan Kelly. Ben Shapiro, it's been documented that he was not really a friend to Charlie Kirk. But hey, when you got $1 million to put into the pot, they'll let anybody else on the stage. They'll let anyone on the stage. And the fact remains is that Ben Shapiro was not on the roster. Charlie Kirk, when he was alive, did not put Ben Shapiro on the roster. Because why? They're not really cool like that. They're not really bros like that. They're not really buds like that. But Tucker did ask Tucker to be on. Kirk did ask Tucker to be on. And if you remember, Tucker was also on the program a couple of months ago, the one that he got a lot of flack for, the one Go Max, right? So Charlie asked Tucker to be there. And when you go through the roster, in the beginning, Ben Shapiro was nowhere to be seen. He was not on the roster. They had other people, not him. But after Charlie's assassination, all of a sudden, $1 million was delivered to Turning Point USA. And with $1 million in, why wouldn't you be the next one up after the wife, Erica Kirk, addresses the crowd? So the scene opens up. Erica Kirk comes out and she does her thing. By the way, she endorses J.D. Vance for 2028. States that her husband's friend will be supported, J.D. Vance, that is, in 2028. So, yeah, the midterms is above, and we got to get through the midterms first, right? Anyway, he puts in $1 million, and now he is on the roster, and he goes on right after Erica Kirk. Interesting, right? And then Tucker Carlson goes on after Ben Shapiro. Charlie's Kirk, nemesis, if you will, gets first dibs on the stage. Money will buy you lots. It will buy you first place on the stage. Even though Charlie Kirk didn't invite him. I'm just saying. So, thanks to Benny Johnson, I have a voice of what Ben Shapiro had to say to start the conversation. And then we'll take a little bit to what Tucker had to say. So Ben Shapiro was, quite angry, just very, very nasty, but that's who he's always been. I've never really taken to Ben Shapiro. Like, I used to say his voice bothered me, but honestly, I'm thinking now that it was really all him that bothered me. So I'm going to let Benny take it. And again, it's just going to be voice audio. We're going to let Benny take it. And here's what Ben Shapiro had to say.
And Tucker Carlson sort of in a back-to-back-to-back sequence in his speech And then Tucker Carlson went right at Ben Shapiro. And so here we go. Here's Ben Shapiro, first off, going after Candace Owens.
We must not let fear of audience deter us from telling the truth. We must not let fear of other hosts deter us from telling the truth. So, for example, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk
the ads.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer and, yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
I'm going to stop it there. So he calls out Candace Owens. First thing out his mouth. First thing out the gate. He's got the daggers straight for Candace Owens. You know, that guy, he's just not very kosher. For being a Jewish person of heritage and of faith, he's just not very kosher, right? Charlie Kirk's assassination, his death, we the people watched this man shot in broad daylight, and this girl, this woman, this friend to him, to Charlie, has been trying to find out who did this. Who took our friend Charlie when his so-called friends close to him aren't out here doing that? And if you're including yourself, Ben Shapiro, and Charlie's network and his friends, you have a big microphone. Why aren't you investigating? You have a big company, Breitbart, and well, you did work for Breitbart, so you know how to do investigative work. You have a huge microphone. You can drop $1 million and do an investigation. No. But Candace is out here trying to get answers. But you want to, what? Defame her? Defile her name? Anyway, let's continue.
Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning.
This is an he used to work for Breitbart, right? Investigative journalism, right? So this is an investigation. History has taught us that the majority of the time when somebody's murdered, you tend to look at the close network. A lot of the times is the least suspected person that's done the crime. And they're always out there looking good, being in support, and all that. History has taught us. The world has taught us. Something like this happens, you bet your bottom dollar it's somebody close to you, somebody very, very close to you. And when money, secrets, and power is involved, it's high level. It's at the top.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice.
Guilty of cowardice for not calling Candace Owens out. That's a jab at Tucker. Oh, they're going to be on this very same stage. Yeah, Tucker Carlson, Megan Kelly. But he's the hero. Little Ben is a Big Ben now, right? Big Ben on a big microphone.
The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
I hate the way he said that. Like, she's vomiting. She's vomiting. She's literally puking garbage out of her mouth. Truth is, friend, I think you might be the one puking garbage. Candace is literally trying to do an investigation. She's pulling all the different angles, looking at under all of the different rocks, following all of the different lines of information, tips, to get to the core of the thing. But you says she's vomiting.
Obviously, the crowd loved that. Candace has been a major agitator against Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and the team that runs the organization. Obviously, there was a summit this week between them. I think a lot of lawyers got involved, and Candace has decided to take a step back after that. Ben Shapiro also, though, went after Tucker Carlson and Megan Kelly. Here we go.
But even if it were true that other public figures were our best friends, our very best friends, that does not relieve us of our duty to speak out of principle and not to cover up evil or shy away from addressing it out of friendship.
So Candace Owens is evil for asking questions about who killed Charlie Kirk and why and how and so on. And Tucker and Megan, who are friends to Candace Owens, well, they're complicit in the evil that Candace Owens is, the demonic forces that she is. She shouldn't be asking questions about Israel. She shouldn't be asking questions about the Mossad. She shouldn't be asking questions about who killed Charlie Kirk. She shouldn't be asking questions. And if you don't use your microphone to tell her to sit down somewhere and shut up, then you're complicit too.
So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megan Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. Meghan Markle is a young mother. Ilhan Omar is a young mother. That doesn't matter. And when Meghan said this week, quote, "My goal and my job here is to try to understand, yes, where Candace is coming from on this," and says she sees no purpose in inserting herself, quote, into this on one side, that is a moral and logical absurdity. There is only one moral side here, Erica Kirk's side.
Shouldn't it be Charlie Kirk's side? After all, Charlie was the one who got a bullet in the neck. Charlie's the one who's dead. Shouldn't it be about Charlie? Mr. Ben Shapiro, Little Big Ben, shouldn't it be about Charlie Kirk and what happened to him? Nobody's taking on Erica Kirk. She's the new CEO of the company. Therefore, she has to answer questions in reference to what's going on with the company. Nobody's attacking her character. People are attacking the complicity of Turning Point USA because Charlie Kirk stood for asking questions. The man literally died. He took a bullet asking questions and answering questions. And his company and his show not doing that? No. We the people deserve answers. And Candace Owens is asking questions. Now, I'm going to finish Ben Shapiro up here. And then I'm going to end this. And we're going to do the Tucker Carlson on its own. Okay? Let's get that real quick. Just got to get through. Let's finish Ben right now.
You know, the side of the widow with 2 children whose husband was shot live on camera in front of all of us. Friendship with the person accusing TPUSA of a cover-up of Charlie's murder is no excuse for cowardice.
Okay, so everybody said, whoa, that is extremely aggressive. And
thank you, Benny. Well, that's where we are. Ben Shapiro really should be ashamed of himself. Erica Kirk is a grieving widow. We all feel for her. I mean, we can't even imagine where she's at right now. The thing is, she should want answers as to who did this. Is she getting these answers from the FBI? Is she getting them from the Trump administration? Candace Owens is discovering things that nobody knew about. People are sending her tips. So much more is coming to the forefront because of Candace Owens and her asking questions and her investigating. This has nothing to do with Erica Kirk as a mother, as a wife, but this has to do with who killed Charlie Kirk and why. And to call out Tucker Carlson and Megan Kelly and to say that they're really bad people for not saying, Candace Owens, shut up and sit somewhere, it's really unbecoming. And you can tell he is unhinged, he is angry, and he is just a disgrace. I'm just going to say it. Ben Shapiro is just an angry little disgrace with $1 million to put him on the stage. That's going to be it for this segment of it. I will catch you in the other part where Tucker Carlson hits back. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Amania Saluste here. Thank you very much for coming on and watching the content and listening to the content. Again, friends, having multiple issues with my tools, but we're going to make it happen one way or the other. So thank you, God, for my new Mac so that I can really make content the right way. Praying for it. It's Christmas time, so who knows? Santa might bring me a new Mac. Anyway, God bless you and keep you, and I will see you in another video or the next video. Don't forget, go to the OrlandoPatriot.com to get yourself a mug, a t-shirt. It will help me out immensely towards that new Mac. Really would. Thank you very much. And you get 30% off. Merry Christmas. I'm going to continue to work during the holiday, being that I took a long vacation. But I'm going to still be working. I'm working throughout the holiday. I'm not taking a break because I already took a break. And so you're going to see me, this format, this form. We're going to continue to push out the thoughts. So God bless you and keep you. Thank you once again. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And that's it. Amania's out.